Hey, hi, and hello, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well. And it's time for a weekly track roundup. My thoughts, my feelings, and a bunch of tracks that have dropped over the past week, whether I loved them or hated them or felt somewhere in between. I mentioned them in this video. They are linked down below so you can check them out for yourself. Yeah. Let's get into it. Also linked down below, of course, is our Turntable Lab link. If you want to go over there, go pick up some vinyl, some turntable stuff. We get kickback from it, helps out the channel. Yeah, that's awesome. Also awesome, our Patreon page. You get some extra bonus monthly content while supporting us in the process. That would be lovely. As well, access to our Discord community too. Old recordings of our New Music Friday streams, and a bunch more. Check it out. Look it up. Awesome. Mwah. Thank you. And also our YouTube Shorts page is down there too. Subscribe today. We've also been doing some short reviews on the main channel over here that have been well received so far. Check those out too. All sorts of different content all the week, all the time, every hour, every second, minute of the day. That's what I do. All right. Cool. Moving on, worst tracks of the week. We have a couple of those. They are as follows. One, the band Wheatus, known for the amazing song Teenage Dirtbag, have come through with a Christmas version called Christmas Dirtbag. And it's basically Teenage Dirtbag with Christmas lyrics. And I don't want this. I really do not want this. But maybe some of you do. And to those of you who do, all the more power to you, and I hope you enjoy this Christmas season. Blink-182 has come through with a brand new track titled Fell in Love, and I don't know why, but the intro to this thing is like some YouTuber-ass music circa 2012. Why? Lord, why? Why? It sounds hideous. And also, like, there's a bad drum edit in the first 30 seconds of the track. Like, what? Handily one of the worst songs in the lead up to this next record, which my hopes are not high for. This is just a mess, unfortunately. All right, meh. The tracks I was on the fence with, you might like them more than me. Just thought I would give them a quick shout out. They are as follows. We have a new one from the band Spiritbox. These guys are known for their blend of metalcore and gent and progressive metal and so on and so forth. But this track of theirs from a new EP that is on the way. It was actually one of the heaviest songs I've ever heard the band put out. Cellar Door is the title of it. I mean, I'm not blown away by it necessarily, and I don't think they, kind of put a unique spin on what they're doing here, but it is a heavy and hard-hitting, brutal track, more brutal than usual than, I've heard in the past from Spiritbox, and, that alone, I think, makes it worth shouting out. Next, we have a new one from Nicki Minaj. It's kind of a bit of an extra, like a demo that she dropped because the Barbs, did like a little bit of a vote on some unreleased, unofficial stuff. And, it may be a demo, but it is barred up and lyrically a very fun, entertaining cut from Nicki. Bomb Bomb is the title of the song. That is linked down below too. Following that, we also have a brand new one from Lauren Mayberry of Church's fame, who is coming through with some solo material. Shame is the title of the track. And I think her vocal performance on this one is impassioned, but the production is maybe just a bit too off-kilter and goofy to kind of, flow and groove as much as you want, like kind of a pop song too, even if this one is trying to be like a little dark and a little foreboding in a way. We have a new one from Ice Spice, who is teaming up with Rema on this track. Pretty Girl is the name of the cut. And yeah, it's kind of Ice Spice doing her thing over an instrumental that goes in more of a pop Afrobeats fusion kind of thing. Wouldn't necessarily say this works for her in my opinion, but I wouldn't be surprised due to the cultural and kind of stylistic crossover going on here that it kind of blew up for her and became a massive hit. But there you go. New one from MySpace. Moving on from there, a new cut as well from Fred Again. Also Jazzy featured on the track. 10 is the title of the song. And This is dressing room fodder. I'm sorry. This is just dressing room fodder. Like, no more, no less. There's not really much to add to it other than that. We have a new one from Skrillex, Flodan, and Lil Baby on the track. You know, I don't know if these three necessarily make sense together, even if they did kind of, you know, do their best to work Lil Baby in there in a hooky type way. But as far as like Skrillex and Flodan are concerned, I think it's kind of an average cut from both of them. You just kind of have Lil Baby in the mix on top of it. All right, going on from there, Kid Cudi crossing over with Star Trek to basically come through with a very starry, space-themed rap track that kind of calls back to a lot of Cudi's older stuff. With that being said, though, it captures the vibe, but there's not really an interesting song or progression to it per se, so it does kind of like meander and lose steam after a while, even with it being as long as it is. We have Chris Stapleton, who's come through with a very passionate, bluesy country fusion on this new track over here, It Takes a Woman. Nothing too new, but still the performance is killer on the cut, that's for sure. We have Brittany Howard, who has also come through with a brand new single. Not nearly as rockin' or as soulful as I typically enjoy her music to be. This one's a lot poppier with a tighter, more textured production. You know, I wouldn't say stylistically I'm entirely sold on it. You know, I'll say that. What Now is the title of this track. We have a new one from Bring Me the Horizon as well, which, you know, I think they pretty much come through with a very alternative metal anthem by the numbers on this one. No more, no less. The title of this track over here is Dark Side. Boy Genius, Black Hole, the opening track to the new EP that they just came out with. The Rest is the title of the project, pretty much, you know, insinuating that this is like the rest of the material from this album cycle. Given that this song kind of ends out of nowhere, I feel like that, you know, is a pretty apt description. Does feel like an extra of sorts, although I have heard them play it live, and it was a pretty kick-ass rendition in person, even if the studio version doesn't necessarily, you know, kind of hit quite as hard. But yeah, you know, Boy Genius fans, take notice. We have this track and, you know, a few others on the EP. Seems like a song each from the girls, and, you know, it's cool extra material. Finally, we have Bombay Bicycle Club, who have come through with a wild, surprising new track over here titled Tekken 2. Never known the group to be quite this dance pop oriented, but the real surprise on this cut is that it features Shaka Khan, and she actually gives a killer vocal performance on the song, believe it or not. So yeah, I mean, while again, not a band I'm huge on, and I wouldn't necessarily say I'm sold on the tune either, the Shaka Khan feature is fire, and you know, there's grooves abound on the track for sure. All right, best tracks of the week. We have a handful of those. They are as follows. We have a new one from Wiki and one Tony Seltzer. We had a track from them last week that I really dug on, and you know, it seems these two really are, I don't know, drumming up some good hip hop chemistry. And Wiki, especially on this track, is you know, doing a bit of a very life-affirming self-portrait origin story type track lyrically, and I think Tony's production works really well, you know, with him on the track. We have a new one from Tainy, who is coming through with, like, you know, a really great dance rager that transitions into a freaking reggaeton rager with multiple features on it. It is an incredible little cut with just a lot of phases and a lot of talent and a lot of different vocals packed into it. It's pretty epic and ambitious, honestly. Really awesome that he was able to pull it off. We have a new one from Spiritual Cramp. We've heard teaser after teaser after teaser from the band's forthcoming album. It's just a kick-ass punk rocker with a solid hook on it too, and really psyched for this LP, that's for sure. We have a new one from Quadeca, who's come through with a single of what seems like some extras, a couple of tracks, and it's a really creative couple of songs, one featuring break-ins, and the other track is kind of a hip-hop cut with some pitched vocals that actually has some killer production behind it. Really cool that Quadeca is giving us, again, what seems like some cutting room floor stuff, but it's still pretty fantastic. All right, we have a new one from Miss PinkPantheress. It is another track from her forthcoming album, Heaven Knows, which, given the teasers we've heard so far, is shaping up to be pretty cool. Capable of Love is the title of this next one, and the dance pop, bedroom style dance pop that she keeps putting out just gets more and more endearing with each new single. All right, we have Phoenix, who has come through with a strange revision of the track All Eyes on Me. BENEE is in the mix. Chad Hugo of Neptune's fame and also Pusha T has vocals on the cut. It's kind of chaotic. It's all over the place, but hell yeah, I would absolutely spin this. I would DJ this track at a party or something like that. It's kind of a crazy mix of vocals and sounds, but it works. It works really well. It's a really cool remix, that's for sure. All right, moving on from there, Paul Wall, Termanology. He's got a new record out, Start, Finish, Repeat. I at least wanted to point to this track over here featuring Bun B, Houston Barbecue. It's just good, straightforward Southern hip-hop. I mean, there's not really too much more to say about it other than that. And Paul Wall has a pretty lyrical appearance on the track as well. So, shout out to this record. If you're at all a Southern hip-hop fan, Paul Wall fan, do not miss this record. That's for sure. All right, Kirin J. Callinan has come through with a new cut over here. It is a nice little new wave rager with some throwback production and some very expressive, eccentric lead vocals that I think go over really well. Eternally Hateful is the title of this track. We have a new one from the Haxan Cloak. NY is the title of the track. And, this kind of really brings me back to when I enjoyed Haxan Cloak's music most. Just really sounds like some horrifying cinematic production, instrumental, and is heavy, is crushing, is slightly industrial, and, just sounds like a monster creeping up behind you and about to swallow you whole. I'll say that. That's what it sounds like. All right, we have a very mathy, multi-phased epic rocker from Glass Beach on this one. CIA, The CIA is the title of the track. This one rules too. Also rules multiple tracks from the new Geese EP. One of the best new rock bands out there right now, and Space Race is the title of the cut I want to point you guys to. But yeah, pretty much every song on this new EP of theirs is a rager. Again, one of the best rock bands out there right now that you will hear, one of the best new ones, and their new record, 3D Country, is incredible. Dropped earlier this year and is one of my favorites of 2023. All right, we have DeMarco, who is teaming up feature style with Eyedress on this cut over here. And it's a cute, funny little song called My Simple Jeep. Quirked up, unlikely song topic, and it just kind of works. DeMarco sounds good on it as well. All right, a couple more. Ambrosia, brand new cut from Channel Trace, teaming up with Erick, the architect, on this one. And it's groovy. There's some rap verses on it. Great energy, great vibes. Really liking it all around. These two mix better together than I would have presumed given their kind of respective musical backgrounds. It really works. All right, we have the Drums, who have a brand new record out as well. The song over here that I want to point you guys to is a very unlikely crossover that also works, interestingly enough. Has Rico Nasty on the song. Dying is the title of the track. And it's a successful indie pop, hip hop crossover. Again, really works. Rico complements the track really well. And finally, Carsey Headrest and the Beths, along with Pickle Darling, have come through with a couple of covers of a Death Cab song, but also a Postal Service song. Do want to specifically point to the Carsey Headrest track, though, because they do a version of Death Cab's We Look Like Giants, and it's an incredible cover. It's an incredible, exciting, hard rockin' cover. The Beths one I'm not as crazy about because the instrumentation maybe is a little too kind of quaint. But the We Look Like Giants track is killer. But, if you're a Death Cab fan, Postal Service fan, you're probably going to want to check this, covers single out. All right, weekly track roundup, done, in the bag, finito. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully you got some good recommendations out of the video. And we will see you in the next one. Anthony Fantano, tracks, forever.